Hello, today I will be explaining some of the differences between the United States and Iceland. I will also explain how you can prepare to conduct business for Patagonia as an American in Iceland. First off, the business side of Iceland. Icelanders typically start off business meetings shaking right hands just like in the US. There are no social classes in Iceland, so even if you are meeting with a CEO or someone higher up in a business, shaking hands is the way to greet them. Icelanders are typically very direct when talking. Reliability, accountability, and honesty are also highly valued, so use those to your advantage. Friendships are another thing valued. You should try and make some acquaintances at least, as many times business and pleasure are mixed into one. You may notice that during meetings, most Icelanders do not take notes. Icelanders highly value people to keep their word, so much so that an oral agreement is an official agreement according to the law of Iceland. Because of this, one should exercise caution about making oral promises and make sure any promises given are actually achievable. Language in Iceland should be considered as well. It is normal in a business setting for everyone to speak English, even though Icelanders have their own language. When setting up meetings or anything to do with time, 24-hour format should be used. This gets rid of any miscommunication about time zones, as the US and Iceland do not share any time zones. For dress code, you should wear something formal to business meetings. Icelanders take pride in fashion, so showing up well dressed will give a good first impression. Casual wear is acceptable as well, but for first-time meetings, show up looking professional. In terms of formality, everyone in Iceland goes by a first-name basis, even when conducting official business. This is because last names don't exist, practically. Last names in Iceland consist of the father's first name with the suffix "dóttir," meaning daughter, or son, meaning son. Another formality to consider is marriage. 67% of babies born in Iceland are from unwed parents. This is important to consider, as asking about someone's marriage is uncommon practice for the fact that people don't really care about marriage there. Another thing Icelanders do not care much for is time management. They are typically unpunctual about when to show up for something because inclement, harsh weather is very common in Iceland. They typically have a plan A, B, and even sometimes C. They are used to having to change plans and are flexible about meetings. This means you must be very accepting if someone shows up late to a meeting, as it's a norm there. Competition in Iceland is just as big as it is in America. They take pride in their accomplishments and will boast about them. One category they especially take pride in is athletics. This can be a great thing to discuss during times of small talk. Some of the most popular sports include soccer, golf, and running. The people of Iceland have a very strong connection to nature. They are very conscious about keeping all of Iceland clean and safe. Most people in Iceland are very physically active as well and enjoy being outdoors. This should be accounted for when promoting Patagonia, as the company is very environmentally conscious and promotes nature in the same ways Iceland does. Equality in Iceland is something they are very proud of. They have ranked #1 for gender equality by the World Economic Forum for the last 7 years. Not only this, Iceland is proud of their high ranks in freedom of expression, gay rights, and their level of democracy. There are other Icelandic norms to take into account when visiting. One that is very different from American culture is that a majority of the population believes in elves. If there is a construction project and they believe the elves are not happy with it, they will move the project elsewhere. They also believe that if something mysterious happens during construction, they will stop construction entirely. This is a very important consideration because if the elves interfere with your business, you will just have to accept it and figure out an alternative. Another important consideration are the stores and food in Iceland. Most stores close around 6 p.m., including grocery stores. Anything that is open past 6 will most likely be more expensive. Be aware that there is also a common practice to leave babies outside of stores while the parents go shopping. The reason for this is Icelanders believe that being outside is essential to one's health, so keeping their children outside to sleep while they shop accomplishes this. Overall, there are many differences between the US and Iceland that need to be considered in order to conduct business for Patagonia in an effective way. There are many cultural differences, so don't act like you are in America. Store hours are shorter, so be sure to get to them earlier in the day. The elves mean a lot to the Icelanders, so respect them as well as nature. And lastly, be flexible and remember these things so that you may blend in a little better and have a successful trip to Iceland.